Sarah here with Seen and Heard Photography. One of the things that I like to do sometimes to provide a little bit of variety in my gallery is to change the color of the gown that my client is wearing. So I am going to do a quick tutorial to kind of show you the easy way that I do that. I do most of my editing in Photoshop Elements. It's simply what I'm familiar with and what I can do quickly, but a lot of this would work in a variety of editing programs. So we will get started. So here is my completely edited image. And notice that the original color of the gown is peach, but sometimes it's kind of nice to throw in either the client's favorite color if they weren't able to wear that gown for whatever reason, or just to kind of change things up. So the quick, easy way to do this, I'm going to go over here and grab my quick selection tool. I'm going to make sure that it is on add and not subtract. I'm going to go up to my image and I'm simply going to quick select the gown. Now some images work better for this than others simply because of either the color of the gown, the lighting. This one is easy simply because there's high contrast between the background and the gown, so it makes it a little bit easier. So now that I have the gown selected, I'm going to subtract and I'm going to take out her hands, and this just kind of makes for easier cleanup later. And so notice that we've got most of the gown selected. It's easy to kind of go back and fill in little areas here and there. So kind of make sure everything is selected. You can kind of go back and add things here and there if needed and subtract. So this looks pretty good. And then I go up to layer. I'm going to create a new layer via copy. And now if I turn off the background, notice I just have the gown. For the most part, we can clean up here and there if needed. So now making sure that my layer with the gown is on, I'm going to, in mine, go up to adjust color. I'm going to replace the color. I'm going to add to sample, so put the little plus by the eyedropper, and I'm simply going to go in and here kind of make sure everything that I want is as white as I can get it, which means that it's selected for the computer. So once I have everything as white as I can get it in the selection tool, then you simply go over to your replacement options and you can adjust. And notice that on my screen the color of the gown adjusts as well. And so this way you can kind of play with it, see what works well. I never promise a client that I can change it to a specific color because, like I said before, sometimes it works well and sometimes it doesn't. But it's kind of nice to add a little bit of variety. So you can kind of adjust saturation. You can't kind of go too far or else it looks obviously fake. But it's fun to kind of add some things. So, I mean, remember the original color of this gown was peach. So, I mean, a yellow might be pretty. She mentioned her favorite color is blue. So maybe we can do a little periwinkle blue color here. Adjust. Alright, so I think that looks good. And then you simply hit OK. And then to go in and clean up kind of where you don't want it, I simply add a layer mask. And then you can kind of go in and clean up where it is on her hands. So I will do that a little bit. I don't want blue fingertips here. And then for these areas that are still kind of peach. I'll show you how to clean those up here in the next step. Another easy thing to do, so this is pretty. Another easy thing that you can do is to go to layer and add a gradient. And that gradient sometimes is a little bit, whoops, but what I didn't do. So you can add a gradient, but you want to do this use previous layer to create clipping mask option, and then that will clip it just to the dress. So here, I mean, we can add a whole variety of options. I've got some different ones in there. The fun thing, you can kind of go in here, you can add colors, you can highlight the color that you originally selected, or kind of adjust it. You can reverse it, align it with the layer. If you don't align it with the layer, you can kind of pull it up and down if you want areas darker. And then you can just kind of play with your blend modes. So kind of find one that speaks to you. Can adjust the opacity. Not sure that I'm loving the multiply. That one's kind of pretty. So it just adds that little bit of depth to it. But remember, this is where we started. So we have peach, and now we have this soft blue. So we will flatten this. And then to go in and clean up those areas that are still peach, you can simply go over here, select your color, find a color that's close by, change your brush, and just, but what I didn't do. I always like to do this on a new layer in case you need to adjust the opacity. And you can simply kind of brush on color close by. We'll kind of do this in a quick fashion, just so you kind of get the idea. But that one didn't work out too well. Sometimes you gotta play a little bit. Again, you can play with blending modes. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. So you just kind of go back and forth, kind of see what feels right to you. And then you can play, but that's kind of the quick and easy way to change the color of a gown. I hope you find it useful. Can't wait to see your results.